Fad diets. Everyone's heard of them. There was the paleo diet. Well, actually, that one's still alive and well in the minds of many dieters today. Before that, there was the Atkins diet. Remember that one? That was the one where you could eat as much bacon as you wanted, but carbs were strictly forbidden. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about a substance that's found in carbs and also has American dieters running for the hills. But not just for mere weight loss reasons, but for some, it's an actual life or death situation. Over the last decade, gluten has become the new villain in our kitchens and cupboards. From cookies, crackers, and muffins, to cake mix, pancake batter, and pasta, right down to the loaf of bread we use to make our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, it seems that gluten is everywhere and in everything. You'd be hard-pressed to walk into a cafe, bakery, or restaurant today and order something as is from the menu and not have it contain gluten. Many people suffer from gluten sensitivity and don't even know it. And if you suffer with celiac disease and don't know it, well, I feel really bad for you because your symptoms are severe, painful, and difficult to diagnose. The cases of gluten allergies seem to have increased steadily over the years, which lead us to ask, what's going on? Today I will explain what gluten is, what gluten intolerance is, the signs and symptoms of gluten intolerance, and give examples of a gluten-free diet. So, has gluten really become the archenemy of many American dieters? First, let's take a look at what gluten really is. Gluten is a protein found in grains, including wheat, barley, and rye. In itself, gluten is non-nutritional, but the grains it's contained in are. Therefore, if you see a gluten-free label on food, it's not necessarily stating that something is more healthy or nutritious than something that contains gluten. According to Scott Adams, creator of the website celiac.com, if we break down gluten, we find that there are two main groups of proteins in gluten, gliadins and glutenins. Upon digestion, these proteins break down into smaller units called peptides that are made up of strings of amino acids. One peptide has been shown to be harmful to celiac patients when instilled directly into the small intestines. When celiac patients talk about gluten-free, they're actually talking about foods free from the harmful peptides in wheat, barley, and rye. Now that we know what gluten is, we can talk about the negative effects it has on some people. You heard me use the words celiac and celiac disease moments ago. Celiacs are people who have celiac disease, and celiac disease is an autoimmune disease diagnosed through blood work or biopsy. Gluten causes inflammation of the small intestines in people with celiac disease. Other symptoms include anemia, fatigue, headaches, joint pain, and other digestive problems. The only treatment for celiacs is to avoid gluten completely. There is no cure for celiac disease. Gluten not only affects those with celiac, but now medical professionals agree that there is a condition related to gluten other than celiac. According to the article written by Kenneth Chang in the New York Times, in 2011, a panel of celiac experts convened in Oslo and settled on a term for this new discovery. They called it non-celiac gluten sensitivity. This term is less of a diagnosis and more of a description, stating that this is someone who does not have celiac, but whose health improves by avoiding gluten and worsens again if gluten is reintroduced into the diet. The symptoms I described earlier are the same whether you have celiac disease or non-celiac gluten sensitivity. The difference lies within being diagnosed as celiac. Even the smallest amount of gluten can severely injure your digestive system and can even lead to death. With less severe non-celiac gluten sensitivity, people experience uncomfortable symptoms like gas, bloating, mild pain, headaches, joint pain, but the results are not fatal. So, exactly how many people have this gluten sensitivity or intolerance? According to Marion Nestle, author of Food Politics and a nutrition and public policy expert, surveys suggest that 1 out of every 133 people in the general population is gluten intolerant. Just 1 decade ago, gluten intolerance levels were 1 in 2,500. Again, today it's 1 in 133. Whether you have a sensitivity or intolerance or full-blown celiac disease, many people report health benefits to eating gluten-free. Eating gluten-free doesn't have to be mundane, depressing, or leave you feeling deprived. Because of the rise in awareness of celiac disease and non-celiac gluten sensitivity, there have been more gluten-free products flying onto grocery shelves for consumers to choose from. These products include staples like breads and pastas that celiacs were originally steered away from because they were largely composed of wheat flour. Today you can find pasta made from rice flour, bread made from almond flour, and even huge companies like Betty Crocker have put gluten-free Bisquick into the market. Now we can identify gluten in food products and its detrimental effects on some people. We know that gluten is a protein found in grains, including wheat, barley, and rye, and that a person can develop a sensitivity at any point in their lives. The most common symptoms you've developed a sensitivity are digestive problems, accompanied by joint pain, headaches, and fatigue within hours after ingesting gluten. A gluten-free diet is essential for celiacs, encouraged for those who suspect they have a gluten sensitivity, and just suggested for others who are curious about the effects of gluten on their own body's well-being. So, do you believe that gluten is a monster lurking in your family's kitchen? Only you can decide. Studies on gluten are fairly new, so do your own research, read food labels carefully, and make the best informed decision you can for yourself and your family.